What's going on, you guys? It's your girl Kristen here. I'm a licensed esthetician, a freelance makeup artist, a YouTuber now, a mom. Welcome to my channel if this is your first time checking me out. And if you're a returning subscriber or viewer, welcome back. So glad to have you viewing this video. Thank you so much for your love and your support. It does not go unnoticed. It is what keeps me going. And I'm making these videos for you guys. I've been making videos all about my own journey, becoming a solo esthetician, to now I want to help others who are looking into the industry for the first time, or maybe you're in beauty school right now. The last video I did, we talked all about how to find a job. We did some resume building, and I also talked to you about how to take initiative and how to become a better candidate for those jobs. This video is going to be a continuation for that video, and say you ended up getting that call back and they want to have you come in for an interview. So this video is going to cover esthetician job interview tips. You guessed it, I came interview dressed for you so that I could show you what I might wear to an interview, and then what to expect during the interview. There's some questions that they might ask you. We'll go over those, and then I believe that you should ask them questions too. It's really important to make sure that the place you're going to be working is somewhere that is going to be fitting for your life and for your goals. We're going to go over all those things and what to consider before you accept the position. So if any of that interests you, then make sure you continue watching. Alright, not gonna lie to you guys, this morning I had to dig into my closet. It has been a long time since I had to get ready for an interview. So, you know, this blazer's a little tight, these pants are a little tight. Blaming the pregnancy weight is still there, but you know what? I'm actually gonna be starting a really cool training program tomorrow. But anyways, I came dressed for an interview for you guys just to kind of give you an example of what I might wear to an interview and kind of just some guidelines that I think are important to remember. These things might seem like they're super obvious and you're like, oh my god, Kristen, like you're talking to me like you're my mom. I'm just speaking from the standpoint of my own experience, just going through the hiring process multiple times. I'm not just talking about my esthetician job. I've had several jobs throughout my life, and I have been the person on the other side of the desk interviewing other people and considering candidates. So there are certain things that I believe are standards for how you should show up to an interview. Make sure you watch to the very end, because you're not going to want to miss any of this stuff. Even though it might seem basic, it's just things that you might need a refresher on, and it's going to make you stand out, I promise you. So number one is dressing for the part. I kind of give you a little visual. Sorry the lighting isn't the best for this video, but I did record myself full body so you could see what I'm wearing. First and foremost, like how I talked about in my last video about keeping things simple and professional. I know we all have our own personal sense of style, and I'm not saying at all to put that aside. I am saying bring forth the simple and professional side of yourself with a twist, with your own flair to it. As you can see, you know, I'm kind of wearing this like nicer necklace. It's not a black blazer, it's a pink blazer, so I put little things into it that I feel like I'm still showing up as myself, but that it's still interview appropriate. So when we're talking about just what kind of clothes to wear, it doesn't have to be a blazer and a shirt. It could be a nice blouse. Just make sure that it's not low cut, it's not see-through, it's not risque. Just make sure it looks really clean and wrinkle-free. Make sure you get that iron board out. Colors, I don't think that really matters too much, as long as it's not something that the person's gonna get really distracted by. Your interviewer is talking to you and you're wearing this like really busy shirt, or your hair or something is like looking crazy, then they're not going to be able to concentrate on you. And so that's the point I'm trying to make, is that whatever you wear, just make it look professional, make it look clean, and not a distraction for the person that is interviewing you. And then as far as like your bottoms, you could wear slacks, you could wear a pencil skirt, you can wear a dress even, and just make sure that it is modest. Maybe the place that you're interviewing is a little bit more laid back. You know, read out the vibe if you have a chance to go and check out the location before you go or whatever. But some places are a little bit more fancy, and so I'm speaking based off my experience having to interview at a high-end spa. As far as like shoes, closed-toed, very minimal heels. This is not the time to break out your stilettos or your stripper heels, okay? We know you're a little crazy on the weekends, but you know, we're not trying to let our employers know what we do on the weekends, okay? I am wearing these pointy-toed heels. You could also wear just like a closed-toed flat. And these are really cute with this outfit too. It's just as far as grooming, just make sure your nails are short. If you can go and get a manicure, get a gel manicure, not something that looks like it's chipping off. Assuming you're gonna be going and doing facials, you're gonna have to have them short anyways. Like one of the things that I really had to struggle with in the beginning of being an esthetician, because I used to get my nails done religiously. I used to get them super long and cute and crazy colors, but you know, now I'm boring. Just kidding. Your hair nice. It doesn't need to be pulled back. Just make sure it looks put together. And then your makeup, make it simple. I feel like a lot of places that offer facials are more about that no makeup look or the natural makeup look. So if you can do something a little bit more on the natural side, that's probably the best. Gotta touch on the hygiene, okay? I know no one wants to talk about this, but I'm gonna talk about it. Make sure your breath's smelling good. Do a little breath check before you go in. Pop a mint if you need to. And making sure your perfume is not this like really strong perfume. You want it to be very light, simple, not something that's gonna like hit the person in the face when you come into the door. Put on that deodorant, making sure you took a shower, like, you know what I'm saying? I know it's obvious, but I wanted to touch on that because it's important. And as far as accessories, you know, like I said, nothing that's too distracting. I get compliments on this piece all the time, so it's like my go-to fancy necklace. So just like a simple little hoop or stud or something. Just keep it simple, okay? I'm gonna say that a lot. Okay, just keep it simple. Oh, my hair. Okay, you know what? I need to take this blazer off. Sorry, guys. I'm like, ooh. All right, back in business. All right, we're smelling good. We're looking good. Let's get it. I was lucky enough to have my practical portion aside from my interview portion. So if you happen to have both on the same day, just bring a change of clothes with you. And what I recommend for the practical is to make sure you bring a hair tie or something to pull your hair back if it's not already pulled back. And then to wear just a simple black shirt. I got this from Target. It's what I wear to work. Simple. You know, you got the little lint roller. It doesn't have no lint on it. I know, sorry, this is not a great example, but I had this with me because I was in here like doing stuff. I know the place that I work didn't allow you to wear leggings or workout pants. So if you can get some sort of like faux slacks like the one I'm wearing right now, that'd probably be best just to play it safe. And then just a simple black shoe like the one I showed earlier, or you can get some all black tennis shoes or something that's clean. But I would recommend just being in all black just to play it safe. Or you could do black smocks. That to me I think is appropriate. Want to be comfortable because you know you're going to be demonstrating a facial. Get it? Any other questions? Pop them down below. So now we're going to get into what to bring to the interview. I have a simple black folder here. What's inside is my resume. Bring a couple just because you don't know if maybe 1 or 2 or 3 people are going to be in the room, so you want to make sure they have extra copies. Usually they're pretty good about printing them themselves, but you know, you just want to come prepared. And then, you know, your license or proof of certification, especially if you're still in beauty school. I know some places actually consider you as a candidate even if you haven't graduated yet. So just bring any sort of documentation to just prove that you're in school, or you're going to get your license soon, or you have your license scheduled, or your exam scheduled. Maybe bring a couple pieces of lined paper just to keep inside the folder or the binder, and a pen so that you can take some notes, because you know you don't want to be pulling out your phone during the interview and taking notes. It just looks weird. Just bring a small bag for your belongings. That's about it. I wouldn't say you need to bring anything else or you need to be extra about it. Really briefly, we're going to go over interview etiquette. I think we all know this. So I'm going to keep it short. I think it's really important to make sure you're on time for your interview. That doesn't mean that you should be driving up and parking at the time that your interview is. You should be in the waiting room or wherever they told you to go, seated, already have told the person you're here by the time your interview time hits. My suggestion is to, prior to going, or if you haven't gone there already, to map out how long it's going to take you to get there, and then add 15 to 20 minutes on top of that. One, because just for me, I like to be able to find parking. I like to just kind of scope out the area and just get into the right mindset. Sounds funny, but if you do get there early and you have a lot of time to kill, then just sit there and just kind of go over mentally like your interview question answers, what you're gonna ask, play some music, get yourself in a good mood. You wanna be going in there just feeling prepared and good, and like you're ready for this interview and that you're gonna land it. And I know for me, when I've interviewed people and I go to shake their hand and they're just like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. I don't know why handshakes matter to me so much, but I think having a really firm, solid handshake, not obviously, going like this, a really nice, solid handshake, it just says something about your confidence. So a nice, solid handshake, make eye contact, speak clearly, confidently, and of course, smile. I always have to remind myself in my videos to smile, because then I start having a resting bee face. So you definitely don't want to be having a resting bee face during the interviews. Here and there, just remind yourself to smile. Most importantly, don't forget this one. You cannot forget this one, promise me. Be yourself. Don't pretend to be somebody you're not, because you're going to be working for this place. If it's somewhere that you see yourself being, then you want to make sure you feel accepted, that you feel comfortable, and just let them know who you are. Let's get into the interview portion. To be honest, my interview was very short. The person that interviewed me was the general manager of the spa that I wanted to work at. What I do to kind of prepare for this portion of the interview, always look at their website. I look at their website, I look at their mission statement. They usually have a section that says about or mission or whatever. And I look at their mission statement and I look at what they stand for as a company, and I just keep that in the back of my mind so that I know what their core values are. If there's keywords in their mission statement like trust, like customer service, client experience, you want to use those words in your answers and in your verbiage, because they're going to really like to hear that you're somebody that follows their mission and their purpose as a company. Okay, now let's dive into the question portion of this. These are some things that they might ask you when you're there for the interview. Number one question that I think probably every single interview opens up with is, tell me about yourself. Now, this question can be vague and a little confusing, because you're like, well, do you want to know about my personality? Do you want to know about my family? Do you want to know what I ate yesterday? Really, what they mean is, tell me about your work experience, your education, and what brings you here today. Be prepared with a nice, concise answer that's not going to be long. Talk briefly maybe about your most previous job and your most previous education. Say you are just getting out of beauty school and you don't have a ton of experience, then talk about your experience at school. Highlight some of the things that have made you who you are today and why you are applying to get this job. I have a couple of examples in mind already. I really wanted to highlight customer service, because I feel like customer service is a huge part of what we do. Then another question that she asked me was, where do I see myself in 5 years? And that's why it's super important to have goals for yourself, because if you come in, you're kind of like, well, I don't really know. I'm just like checking things out, and to be honest, they don't really care what your goals are. They just want to know that you know where you're going in your life. And a lot of places really like to hear that you plan on being there and investing in them as much as they're going to invest in you. I wouldn't mention anything about, say if you do aspire to be a solo esthetician one day, or open up your own spa, or if that's you, just keep that out. Make it unique to yourself. Talk about your professional goals mainly, and your goals as an employee working for that spa or that company. Then I do remember she asked me, why did you apply here? Out of all the other places, why here? Mentally take some notes about what stood out about the company, whether it was their reputation, whether it was that you had been there and you had a great experience, or you've heard from others that they had a great experience. For me, I actually had, I think, 3 teachers that worked at that place. All of them were super knowledgeable and professional, and I aspired to be like them. But another question she did ask me was how much I hope to get paid. You do want to go in there with the idea of how much you would hope to make. Whatever number it is, don't be afraid to say it. If you're looking for somewhere that you're going to be making $25 an hour, then say, I hope to make $25 an hour. And then they're also going to ask you about your availability and how soon you can start. It's really important to go in there knowing what your schedule is, what you can commit to. If you already have things that you've planned in the future, like a vacation or something like that, make sure you have those dates. Honestly, those are kind of just some basic questions that I can remember off the top of my head that she asked me. I'll be linking some other ones that you can check out on Indeed.com and other articles that I found. Now I'm going to be getting into the type of questions that you should ask them, and then the things to consider before accepting any position. This is a super important one. I made sure I asked every single place this about their training program. One of the number one things that led me to choose the job that I chose was because of their training programs. I think it's really important to know what kind of training they're going to put you through and what kind of commitment, because I know for me it was like 2 months. Okay, yay, that's awesome. But that meant for 2 months that I wasn't able to travel anywhere. They had a very strict attendance policy. So you just want to know what you're getting yourself into and if you're going to feel like you're learning something. Also, it'd be good to know if they have continuous training. I know for me, once a year, they would have a recertification. So that was really cool. I think I really enjoyed that about them. They also train for Brazilian. Ask about what maybe devices they use. It'd be great to know what products that they use and what kind of treatments they offer. Take home a service menu with you, look over it. Another important question to ask is about pay. And I'm sure you'll probably already talk about this when they ask you about how much you hope to get paid, but just clarify how much they offer for starting out estheticians, and then also what kind of pay structure it is, because there was so many different structures everywhere that I went to. I'll just tell you what mine was at my job. It was an hourly rate plus commission for the service, plus tip and commission from the sales that you made. Also, it's important to ask what kind of promotion opportunities are there. I know at my spot had a pay scale. They give you a higher percentage of commission the longer you've been there and the more returns that you got. I wanted to be somewhere that my pay could increase as I worked there and as I got experience. On top of pay, you want to know if the company also offers benefits, insurance, medical, dental, vision, whatever you're interested in. I know my job offered benefits for employees that worked 25 plus hours. In addition to your availability, it might be important to ask what kind of scheduling requirements they have. I know for my job, they required me to work a night and a weekend shift. A lot of places that I talked to required you to work on Saturdays or one day out of the weekend. A lot of these places, and I hope you know this, getting into this field, is that the most busy times are going to be on the weekends and holidays and when most people have time off. Are they going to be having you come in during the daytime? Are they open at night? Just get a good feel for what their situation is. And then it'd be good to know if that there's a sales requirement for the job. I know for me, I had to make a minimum sale of $1,000 a month. It can be really scary to some people, and some people don't really want to be forced to make sales. During my training, they talked a lot about selling and upselling and stuff like that, and I've been able to take that with me, and I think it's super beneficial. For the end of the interview, I would really encourage you to ask for a tour of the facility so that you could see, what a treatment room looks like, what their waiting area looks like, what the spa looks like. And, to close out the interview, you want to know when they're going to be getting back to you. It just shows, you're being on top of it, that you're not playing around. Don't feel like you're being too much or you're being annoying. It's just, you don't want to waste anyone's time, and your time is valuable too. So whether or not your facial demo is going to be the same day or not, this is what you might expect for the facial portion of the interview. My demo was in one of their treatment rooms, and I actually had to do it with the lead esthetician of that location. She's like, okay, so you're just going to be doing a very basic demonstration. I'm just going to have you double cleanse. I want you to do a little bit of massage, and we'll finish with finishing products. Truth is, I hadn't done a facial since beauty school, so I was super rusty. So I really recommend that you brush up on your skills. Go ahead and practice on somebody before your interview. They're really just wanting to see how your touch is and how you work. Massage portion, I just did a basic massage from what I learned at school, nothing fancy. You can try to remember maybe about 5 minutes worth of massage. I think you'll be good. And one catch though, she did ask at the end, what I would have recommended for her skin. These products are great to recommend to anybody. Comment down below if you know what I'm gonna say. I said I would recommend a vitamin C serum for you. It's a great antioxidant for the skin. It's gonna give you that extra protection from UV damage, and it helps to brighten and even the skin tone. Then, of course, a moisturizer with SPF, because we wanna make sure that you are nice and protected from the sun. The sun is the #1 cause for wrinkles and fine lines, so you definitely wanna make sure you are wearing that on a daily basis. There you go. Those are your 2 products. And a third one, if they really want you to be extra with it, then pick a cleanser. Everyone needs to wash their skin. After the interview is over, it'd be really great to not only follow up, but to send a thank you card. If you can get an address that you can send the person, or maybe an e-card via email to the person who interviewed you, or even if maybe you already wrote it out, brought it with you, and just hand it to the person that interviewed you after you're done, that would be really nice. A little sprinkle there that you can add in there. So that is all the tips that I have for you guys. I really hope you guys nail those interviews. If you have any other questions, of course, holler down below. Of course, hit that subscribe button, because you know you want to be following me. Got some things in the pipeline for you guys. I will see your lovely faces in the next video.